Welcome to What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander. The crossroads where culture, lifestyle, and community meet, all hosted by the legendary New York radio TV personality and proud Harlem American, G. Keith Alexander.
Well, thank you so very, very much, and welcome to What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander. Wherever you are, I appreciate you for joining our neighborhood as we hang out together in Harlem, America. Now, today in the What's Hot Spotlight is Chuck Chillout, my man Chuck. Now, he's the legendary Chuck Chillout, and he began his illustrious career at 98.7 KISS FM. And Chuck Chillout was one of the first DJs to become world-renowned for launching hip-hop music on radio, including playing Run-DMC, LL Cool J, Salt-N-Pepa, and Slick Rick. Chuck, his affiliation with old and new school hip-hop and R&B has helped him land his title as one of today's most sought-after DJs. You can catch him mixing on 107.5 WBLS on Saturday nights. So, ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Chillout is What's Hot. How you doing, Chuck?
What's up, Godfather? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy, so thrilled to have you join us because
Yes,
I know
sir.
you're such a busy man and you could be any place right now, but you've allowed us to.
We're not going nowhere right now. You know, I was underneath the car fixing the car, and then I was like, "Oh shoot, I gotta." I forgot I got this interview with G. Keith. I had to run back in the house and get the computer.
Well, now, are you proficient as a mechanic? I mean, do you know what
No,
you're doing?
I'm just changing the fuel pump. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know more about
It's
stuff on
it's
cars
simple.
than I do.
Now, I know a little bit, not a whole lot. I know a little bit. I can't take out no motor or nothing like that. But something simple like that, just unscrew it, plug it out, and plug it. It's simple. It's simple.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, I want you to know that you're the second special guest to do the show from inside their vehicle.
Keep it hood, baby. Keep it hood.
So okay. So now you're from the Bronx, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
222nd between Paulton and Laconia.
Got you covered. Okay. So let's take the Wayback Machine and let's go back to your early childhood before you got into hip hop. What was life like for you?
Well, I was a regular kid, going to school, doing whatever, 15, 16-year-old kid was doing. You go to school, play some basketball, listening to certain songs, things like that. But my mother had a birthday party, and she had this DJ guy. I should have asked him what his name was, but I watched him. He was playing Brass Construction. I never forget it.
Oh, okay. Brass Construction.
He was playing Moving,
Mm-hmm.
and I just stared at him the whole night. I was in the corner like, yo, what is he doing? Right. I just watched him, but that must have been 1976 or 77, if I remember right. Yeah, I think it was 76. Then I just listened to you guys on the radio, KTU and BLS growing up as a kid. You know what I mean? So I was just, the whole night I just watched him like, that was my first time actually seeing somebody spin and DJ.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But he was playing the disco stuff, but back then, we didn't play too much disco. We was playing, like we had the hip hop culture thing going with the break beats and it basically was break beats back then. We was playing a lot of break beats along with the disco, cutting it up in the parks. We didn't play too much disco, but it was mostly break beats and some disco. You hear GQ, Disco Nights,
Mm-hmm.
Clear, Runaway,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll play Bustin' Loose by Chuck Brown and
Yeah.
James Brown and Jimmy Castor. Jimmy Castor, George Clinton, and James Brown were the foundation of hip hop to me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to talk to Jimmy one time on the phone.
Jimmy was a great guy.
Yeah, he was. He was hell.
Jimmy, Jimmy was my first professional act that I saw. I was walking down Broadway along with my mentor, a guy named Alton Collier, and Alton knew Jimmy, and Jimmy was leaning on a parking meter, and he was dressed to the nines with his suit and his
Get out of
and
here.
everything, and he introduced me to Jimmy Castor, and I said, "Wow, that's the guy with Hey Leroy, your mama, she's calling you." I was
Yeah,
so impressed.
but the song that we used to play was Just Begun.
Just begun.
Yeah,
Just
that's the one.
begun.
That was it. Was the two B-boy songs were Just Begun and Apache by an incredible bongo rock band, incredible bongo rock band.
But Chuck, you were telling us about your early years, really before you had immersed yourself into hip hop. You were kind of listening to what was being played at the time, right?
Yeah, yeah. We was talking about the songs that we, in the early days of hip hop. We used to cut up Jimmy Castor, George Clinton, James Brown, like Apache, Just Begun, and Give It Up, Turn It Loose was the main three records that you played for all the B-boys. You know what I mean? And then when I got to meet him on the phone and talk to him, I was like, yo, you know what I mean? Same thing when I first met you. You know what I mean? But because as a kid, you listening to the radio and you listen to certain songs, and then you get to meet these people. It's like, yo, it's mind blowing to me. You know what I mean? But I just remember, my mom's had the guy DJing at the party, man, and I the whole night I stared at him the whole night. I just was looking like, yo, what? He's got two turntables. What's going on? You know what I mean? So, and he played brass construction all night. You know what I mean? That was the main thing I remember. Moving and changing. That's the main two songs I remember. Because once I hear something, I don't forget it.
So
But
you're about how old at this time?
16.
16. And then, so we're talking about 76?
76, yeah. 76.
Something like that. Okay. Yeah. So around, how old were you when Sugar Hill Gang came out with Rapper's Delight?
That was 1979, 80. So I was 18 then. But a lot of people don't know, man, the first rap record was King Tim III. It wasn't Sugar Hill Gang.
It wasn't?
King Tim III was the first rap song.
See, okay.
And then
educate us.
To me, what I remember was King Tim III by the Fatback Band. Then came the Crash Crew, We Don't Want to Be Left Behind, and then came Sugar Hill Gang. But they stole that from Good Times. The bass line and the
right.
beat, that was Good Times.
Right.
So the all they did was play it over, but that was Good Times. So by that time, I was my first year in college, and all we played was Stephanie Mills' first album in Good Times. I mean that Good Times and the Rap Was Like, that's all we played all semester. That's all we played. That's all you heard playing out the dorms. That was it. You know what I mean? That was my first time going away from school. I didn't like it. I begged mom to send me back. You know what I mean? So she brought me back. But back then, man, we was moving around, and then we had certain people in my neighborhood. Like there was a cat named DJ Breakout and DJ Barron, a Fookie 4 MCs. So he was the first cat I saw play Blow Your Head by James Brown, Bustin' Loose by Chuck Brown, Apache, Mastermind by Mass Production, the Disco Magic, the record Scratching by Disco Magic, and then they was cutting up Potential by Jimmy Castor.
Potential.
The bass line, boom, boom, boom. That's all we didn't let the whole song play. All you heard was "There It Is," and then the bass line come in, and then that was it. We didn't play the whole song. You know what I mean? But so all that was going on, and I bugged my moms to give me the turntables. So then my uncle bought some turntables, but he had the SO 400s. He was doing it up big. but he hated rap. He hated rap music.
Really?
You know, he hated it. You know, he only rap group he liked was Houdini. So I'm playing the break beats and the rap songs, and he's playing me all the disco stuff and all the old stuff. So he educated me, and he also kept me off the street, off the corner. But when my mom's bought me them turntables, she bought me some S1.E22s. I don't know if you remember the Techniques, the black ones with the big platter. You had to push them because they didn't have no power to them.
Oh yes, okay, yes,
You had to push them. You know what I mean? Because they were the worst. But to me, I was open. I'm in there. You know what I mean? So you know, I did that, and you know, she's give me clothes money. I'll go buy records like an idiot. And she thought I was out of my mind, bro. But for one thing, she did say to me, I remember one time my aunt came over to the crib, and she opened up the door and said, "Look, I know where he's at. He's in the basement. He ain't in the street. I know where he's at." So once I heard her say that, then I knew she was down with me 100%. But believe it or not, man, that kept me out of trouble, because all my friends were getting locked up, going to jail. Some of them are still in jail. A lot of them are dead because they were doing all kind of crazy stuff when we was growing up. But that whole movement kept me out of trouble. Them turntables kept me out of trouble. That's a true story.
Really? It was the turntables?
Them turntables kept me out of trouble. Because I look back, because everybody else is, "Oh, we going over here." Well, I see you later. I'm going home. I'm going to practice. You know what I mean?
You still have those same turntables?
No, I don't have those. I got some SL200s now.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, but you know,
I remember I had a pair of Techniques, and I don't remember the actual number on them, but there was a place called excuse me, I forget the name of the place. I went and I bought 2 turntables, and I've never used them to spin records at a club or anything like that. I just took them home and just pretended like I was a disco DJ, so to speak. But hey, Chuck, we've got a minute before we go to break, and when we come back, I want to talk about how you got into radio, using your craft to entertain people on the airwaves. And ladies and gentlemen, we're listening to Chuck Chillout tell us his life story, and we're also being educated about the beginnings of hip hop right here at Harlem, America. And I want to thank you very much for joining us today, and make sure that you follow us, and you can pick up this podcast. If you missed the show live, you can always get the podcast wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And also you can get it on harlemamerica.com and on the Voice America Variety channel. We'll be right back. We got Chuck back. Chuck, I was just telling everyone that Chuck Curry from Fox 5 came to interview me when I was over at Disco 92. They asked me what I thought about rap records and rap music and hip hop. And at the time we were playing Rapper's Delight, and also the Message by Grandmaster Flash. And so I told him, I said, well, you know, I think it's just a fad. I don't think it's going to be around long.
No, you know? but it all came from the Jimmy Spices. The Jimmy Castle, the James Brown, the George Clinton. All that came from there. You know what I mean? So from the year of 77 to 1979 and 80, you had the first rap record, King Tim III, then the Crash Crew, and then Rapper's Delight. Right? By that time, you know, after that came a bunch of records after that. You know what I mean? You had Bobby Robinson with the Enjoy label. Right. Nice guy. He was a nice guy. I met him. He was a nice dude. I never got to meet Mr. Robinson or Mr. Robinson. I never got to meet them, but I did go to her funeral out of respect for what she's done. But by that time, you know, them records were coming. One after Disco 4, the Sugar Hill Gangs, the Grandmaster Flashes, the Jimmy Spices, the Curtis Blows. They were all coming. So by that time, with the first cat on the radio playing rap was Mr. Magic and Marley. So there was a nightclub on 18th Street called the Roxy's, and then you had the Fun House on 20, I think it was 6th Street, if I remember right. So everybody was running back and forth there on a Friday night.
Right.
If you couldn't get in there, you would go there.
Right.
So, but in the Roxy's, you had Mick Jagger hanging out in there, Leon and Jane Kennedy, Herbie Hancock. That's where he got the idea to do Rockin' It from. It was in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he snatched up DST. He's one of the DJs that was in there. He was them to scratch the record.
Oh,
so yeah, that's yeah. So then you had him in there playing. Bambaataa was in there playing. Africa Islam. So you talking, because the Roxy was a roller skating rink during the week.
I used to go there and roller skate.
Yeah, but on Friday night, it became the biggest hip hop party. So you had 3,000 people in on a Friday, easily.
Cheese and crackers. Wow.
So I met the world in there. Everybody was coming in on a Friday. So one night, me and Red was in there. And,
Red Alert. Talking about Red Alert.
He was in there, and then
another legend.
Here comes this little short dude named Barry Mail.
Right, good old Barry. Yeah.
So he hands me and Red a card. Yo, I want to put this hip hop thing on the radio. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever, money. You already know what you're talking about, right? So me, I took the card, put it in my pocket. So I ain't paying no mind. So then 2 days later, Red calls me. Yo, it's real. I said, word? I said, okay. All right. So I went down there. I don't know where I'm going. 1440 Broadway. I went down there.
Now, this is Kiss FM for the listeners. This is 98.7 Kiss FM. Okay.
1440 Broadway. I went one time. I went 2 times. I went 3 times. So the 4th time, that chick, Gail Tonneson, was at the door. And she got up and went and walked away. So I walked in the back. Right? So I don't know where I'm going. I walk in the back. So I see Chuck Leonard and Bob Slade.
The great Chuck Leonard and the great Bob Slade.
So I'm looking going, yo, that can't be who I think that is. You know what I mean? They started talking. I said, yo, that is him, right? So then he goes, I go, where's Barry Mail's office? Oh, over there, young blood. Go over there. So I knocked on the door, and Barry goes, now he had a camera that could see to that whole front desk area. I don't know if y'all knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
He had a camera in his office. So he goes, I was wondering when you was gonna walk back here. That's what he said to me. Right? So then he brings me to Tony Q.
Tony Q. Yeah, Tony was the one that I me over at Kiss when I left 92 KTU.
I talked to Tony yesterday.
Really? To him all the time. Oh wow.
Yeah, he's in Delaware somewhere. So I give him the tape. So before I got home, he called the crib. And my mother goes, yo, somebody named Tony Q called it. I said, excuse me? What is this? I didn't know this. As soon as I gave him the tape, right? I called him back. He picked the phone up. Hey, man, what's happening? I said, yo, man, you listen to the tape? He said, yeah. Oh, I loved it. This is what I want to do. I want to rotate you guys. I said, what? You want to do what? Hit on the radio? So I'm going, yeah. I'll do it. I was like, I'll do it. Don't bother me. I'll do it. So he had Jazzy J on there, the Latin Rascals, me, Red, and some other cat was rotating once a month. See, but I knew what it was from the first time I heard it, because when Friday and Saturday came, that's all you heard in the street was Kiss FM and BLS. That's all you heard. You didn't hear nothing else.
So now we're talking, what year we're talking now?
1983.
1983.
83.
Okay, all right. So now you get this rotation on Kiss FM. What was it that
Well, I always wanted to do radio because I was listening to you guys growing up. You know, that was, I was like, yo, how these guys get on here? How did they do this? But they didn't let us talk back then, if you remember.
Right, exactly.
They didn't want us talking. You had to be all, hey, how you doing? We wasn't talking like that back then. You know what I mean? So, but in listening to you guys, man, that definitely was an inspiration, man. You, Crocker, Vaughn Harper, Johnny Allen, Bugsy, what's the other dude's name? Yvonne Mobley, you guys,
Well, you taking me back.
Champagnes, Charlie Burger.
Yeah.
I listened to everybody as a kid. You know what I mean? So.
Well, now you have become a. I mean.
Then when I got to meet what's his name, because he was, what's the dude's name that wasn't Paco, the other one. What was his name?
Who, Frankie?
No, not he was
Roscoe. Roscoe?
No, not Roscoe. Carlos De Jesus.
Oh, Carlos De Jesus. Okay.
So let me tell you a funny story about him. He was dating this chick lived around the corner from me, Terry Gonzalez.
Oh, beautiful Terry.
Yeah, so I caught him on my block one day.
You did, huh?
That's what you doing up here, man. He goes, yo. I said, oh, I know where you going. I know where you going.
Yeah, Terry Gonzalez was a singer.
She was hot.
Yeah, she was very hot. They used to bring her around to the radio station.
I saw a lot of dudes knocking on that door and didn't get past that door. I saw a lot of dudes doing, hey baby, what's that? She didn't open that door. A lot of guys was chasing her, bro. We used to be like, yo, what's going on over there? You know what I mean? It was great. And then across the street from me was Sylvia Strickland. She lived around the corner from me. Terry lived around the corner from me, and Sylvia Strickland was right across the street from my house.
Really?
May give me your love. She lived right across the street from me. Yes.
I see. Well, okay, so this was a very interesting time for you. Now, how did your legend grow from there?
Well, it started from the radio on Kiss. When we got on there mixing and playing those records along with the disco records. The first it was, we was playing Kool and the Gang, Fresh, and Ashford and Simpson. Then when the streets found out they had an outlet where they can hear their music all the time, then we became bombarded with rap songs. Then the legacy grew from there. Now,
you never wanted to become a rapper yourself?
No. You gotta. That's not easy. Everybody thinks it's easy. It's not. Sit there and write stuff, and then stand in front of a crowd and perform. That's not easy. It's not easy.
I had a rap record. I had a rap record once.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I had a rap record once, and they played it on Disco 92. But I never went out into a crowd or anything to do that because, like you say, it's not easy.
Not easy.
And I never wanted to spend my time trying to figure it out.
Because if you whack, they'll throw something at you, or you'll get booed. It's not a good feeling.
Well, tell us who are some of the acts you've opened for? Because once you became a DJ on Kiss, you started opening for other acts and things like that.
Oh, yeah, man. The Ice Cubes, the De La Soul, the Public Enemies, the LL Cool J's, the Run-DMCs. I did a show with Run-DMC in Atlantic City right before COVID. Man, it was the Hard Rock Cafe in Atlantic City. It was just me and them, and it must have been about 15,000 people came to see them.
15,000 people. So you have actually played for 15,000 people.
Yeah, and then when I went on tour with about 8 years ago, it was me, De La Soul, Ice Cube, Public Enemy, LL Cool J. We did 35 cities. It was the Kings of the Mic tour, and that was 12,000 people every night.
What's that like to provide that energy, to provide that, because you've got to keep it going because,
Oh yeah, because
one
I
mistake,
know
one mistake.
once I set the tone in the beginning, then everybody else comes on after me and they just one after another. That tour was no joke. You know what I mean? Everybody rocked out.
Really?
Yeah.
So you take your Wheels of Steel and everything on a 35 city tour.
Yeah. I rolled up in the corner on the Public Enemy bus. I didn't have no bed. And it was like, yo, do you want to come? I was like, excuse me, what you think? What do I? I rolled up in the corner. I swear to God, Keith, I swear to God. I rolled up in the corner. They was like, you need a, nah, I don't need no bed, bro. I'll stay in the back, no problem. You paying me, we'll do this. Let's go. Right? And man, we had a good time, man. We had a good time.
So kind of give us an idea of what it's like looking out into the audience and you see all these people who are just so enthralled with the music
But the funny thing is that the stories that, and you got to also understand too, G Keith, those 98.7 Kiss M tapes with me and Red, they went all around the world, bro. Because people from here were sending them to other people in different countries. Because it's crazy, man, how them tapes and them Kiss FM t-shirts and the Kiss cards, they ended up all around the world, man.
So your reputation actually precedes you before you get to a place.
Yeah,
folks already know who you are.
Yeah. Them tapes went all around, man. And there's a lot of tapes because there were times that you remember when you filled in and you was on there talking. See, it was only person let us talk back then was you, Jerry Young, Jeff Fox, and Bugsy. All the rest of them wouldn't let us talk. They were tight. So we ain't gonna mention no names, but you know what I mean? But you was like, go ahead, Chuck, whatever. You was like, whatever. You know what I mean? You forgot one night I kept you awake, you remember? I bought you some coffee.
You got to refresh my memory because
you was cause see you would let me come in there and hang out with you. It was only a couple of y'all that did that. A lot of those cats didn't want us in the room with them. You know what I mean? You was like, come on, young blood, come on. So I remember one night I was downtown and you was doing overnights. And you was like, and you sitting there, you was in the room, you was like, man, I ain't gonna say what you really said because we on air, right?
Right.
So you was like, I don't, man, listen, you said something wild to me, right? And I started laughing, right? Yeah. So because you was sleeping, you was too tired. And I was like, yo, man, you gotta talk, and you bust out laughing, right? And I was like, yo, you want me to get you some coffee? So he said, yeah, man, go to the store. And I went and got you a big cup of coffee. And we came back and I hung out with you till like 4 or 5 in the morning. But it wasn't too many of y'all that let us in that room. But you was one of them.
Well, I'm glad that you're refreshing my memory because let me tell you, there's so much that went on during those days. And when you're, when you're at the top radio station and you're flying high, so many things and so many people are coming at you. Some of this, you just don't remember everything. So
you were hot, son. You were hot. Just say you were hot, son. Just say you were hot.
Thank you for keeping me awake that night.
Yeah. I did it a couple times. I came and checked on you. You would let me come up and hang out with you. You didn't have a problem with it. You was like, come on, Chuck, come on.
Well, thank you, Chuck.
That's why I love you to this day, because from day one you show love. From day one, you ain't know me from Adam.
Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate the fact that you call and check on me from time to time to see how I'm doing. I really appreciate that. So we've got a minute before we take another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about. We're going to find out what you have planned for after COVID. And what you'd like to do, because many of us have sat around trying to figure out.
I'm doing. I'm
also wait. Just hold on. We'll talk about it after the break. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander. And don't forget to get your shots. Please get your shots, okay?
Uh-oh.
All right. We'll be right back after
You
this.
trust that?
Hi, my name is Crystal Pfeiffer, and I'm a designer. And I love Harlem because it's a cultural melting pot. And I'm proud to be a Harlem American.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, you better ask somebody. And this is the legendary Chuck Chillout. He's one of the luminaries of hip hop. And we're lucky to have him today. And he's giving us a history lesson on the beginnings of hip hop and how he got involved. So, yes, now we spoke about COVID, and you, right before COVID, you played for Run-DMC, had 15,000 people down in Atlanta. And I asked you if during the break, if you had gotten your shots yet, and you said no.
Nah, man, I didn't do it yet. But see, my girl is a practitioner nurse. She's in my ear every day. You know, I was supposed to go last week. I punked out, but I'm gonna go next week. I'm gonna take it next week.
Well, I took my second shot last week, and I got to tell you, 8 hours after I got that second shot, my arm started hurting. And before I went to bed that night, I had some pains in my body, you know, a few little pains, nothing major. When I woke up the next morning, though, my arm really hurt, and I really had pains all over my body, and I kept sleeping on and off that next day. But then that was on a Thursday, and then that Friday I was okay. So you know, I was sort of hesitant, but I had heard a doctor on television say, uh, if you have the first shot and you get COVID, we can save you. But if you don't have the shot and you get COVID, we might not be able to save you.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's all I had to hear.
Yeah, well. I'm like I said, my girl's a practitioner nurse. She's she's that close to being a doctor. So she's in my ear. Y'all, what you gonna do? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Good. So, you know, because of COVID, a lot of us have spent time here at home, and you couldn't be on the road. You couldn't make your appearances and things like that. Uh, have you discovered things about Chuck Chillout that you hadn't known before, or have you decided that you're going to try something different? That how are you reinventing yourself?
Well, we all had to adapt and make the transition, man. You know, you had to look into other ways of monetizing yourself, try to make all the money somewhere else, and do other things. And then, like, you know, the BLS studios was only open to certain people's. You know what I mean? I'm on there every Saturday night from 10 to midnight on BLS. And then I just started doing LL Cool J's Rock the Bill XM channel.
Oh, really?
So I'm on there every Friday at 9 o'clock from 9 to 11. Yeah. So I just started doing that. So, you know, you have to find other ways of bringing in money, you know, try to find some investments, you know, do other things, you know, but one thing I learned about myself, I know I already had it in me, is that, you know, you can't give up. You got to keep fighting. You know what I mean? You know, I always say adapt and make the transition. You know, you can't stop, man. You got to keep going, man. You know, no matter what's going on with you, you can't stop. You know what I mean?
That's your motto. I believe I read somewhere that's your motto. Don't stop, can't stop.
Can't stop.
Pick yourself up and keep going.
Adapt and make the transition. That's what I want. You know what I mean?
There you go. Now, you have a catchphrase that you use, let's go, boys, or something like that, right? What is that?
No, that's Flavor Flav.
Oh, yeah, okay, Flavor, but you have something, but you say let's go or something like that, or what is your catchphrase?
You know, I call, you know, that's nervous, that's not popping, things like that. You know, I never said let's go, boy. Nah. And I'm live, you understand, having one of my promos on the station. I got that on it.
No, I've heard you say something about let's go or something, but anyway, if you say that it's not you, I'll take you at your word. But I know that I've heard you say something about let's go.
We're probably saying something else. We you know, both of us probably don't remember what it is right now, but it'll come to me. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. So all right. So in reinventing yourself,
10%.
Okay, so reinventing yourself, what do you think you're gonna do when COVID is over?
Well, I wanna hit the road, man. You know, now I got this national platform, and then me and El been talking. So I think he's gonna hit the road again. So we'll probably do a couple cities. I was trying to talk him into doing, him, Run-DMC, LL Cool J, Public Enemy, MC Light, House of Pain, and probably Busta Rhymes or something.
Wow.
They could do that probably in a bigger arena. You know what I mean? Because you understand, man. Generation from 35 to 55 love the old school rap. That new stuff, they don't really like it. They don't. That I call that new stuff space music. That's what I call it.
Space
music. And the show I call XM is the No Space Music show, where I play the real hip hop from the 70s and 2000s. So
okay.
Yeah, so I'm playing the boom bap, the break beats, throw a little reggae in it, throw a little Bob Marley in there.
So what time are you on LL's channel?
9 p.m. to 11 every Friday, Eastern Standard Time, and 6 to 8 on the West Coast.
Okay. All right.
So I just started that about a month ago.
I see. Okay. So how does that work out with, you just mentioned a litany of names. Folk, all of the artists get together and they decide on how they're going to bust up.
See what happens? Everybody knows everybody, right? So they'll get on the phone, yo, how about we get this and that together and try to make it happen? So one person will call another person, or the promoter calls one person and starts the fire going. Cause like there'll be a instance, well, say like if you didn't know LL Cool J, everybody knows me and him are tight. So you'll be like, so if you want to get at him, you will call me and I will call him. And then I'll be like, yo, they trying to do this, trying to do that. You need to get your management team to talk with one person and see if you want to go on the road. That's how it usually starts.
All right.
I mean? Then like they'll be talking like right now for next year.
Okay.
Next summer.
Okay. So now, all right. Now, how did they decide to bust up the money? Okay, it's a 35 city tour, and we're charging $50 a ticket.
No, on that show it's more than that because you got a lot of people on there that's getting a lot of bread tonight. like LL ain't cheap, Ice Cube ain't cheap, Public Enemy ain't cheap. You know what I mean? So they may take a pay cut because you got 30 cities. You know what I mean? But that truck, I told you, man, that tour we did 35 cities, man, and everywhere we went was sold out.
Incredible.
Everywhere we went, Tampa, and we came to New York, they stuck us in this, which to me was the most stupidest thing ever. They stuck us in Roseland. So Roseland only holds about 8,000 people, right?
Right.
So it was 3,000 backstage trying to get in, right? Then you got the 8,000 that's already inside. Then you got another 3,000 in front, late minute, trying to buy tickets. It was, it was crazy out there. It was crazy. And I was like, why would you bring all of us here in this spot is too small?
Yeah.
You should have took us to like either could cut off half the garden, or you might have could have done the Beacon Theater. Beacon Theater holds about 8,000 people. You know what I mean? But the Roseanne was too small.
So I guess I should understand that you guys are planning a big tour after COVID.
Yeah. I'm hearing a little rumblings.
You're hearing a little rumblings. Okay.
I'm hearing a little rumblings.
And,
I'm getting that right now. I'm getting that.
Well, now is I know LL is a good friend of yours, and I saw LL about 2 years ago backstage at the Apollo, and we took a picture together. He was the host of the show, and I was the announcer. But I've not seen LL perform lately other than
Oh,
on his TV show. His TV show. I watch him on his TV show.
He's a problem.
He's a problem.
You can't come on after him. It's a problem. There's a couple acts you don't want to come on behind. He's one. KRS One. Public Enemy.
Okay.
Ice Cube.
Okay.
Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick. You're gonna have a problem.
Really?
Yeah, because you gotta come with your A game. Yeah, they gonna do their thing. The crowd's gonna be wilding, and if you come on after them with some more mediocre show, you're gonna get booed.
Give me a story of one that stands out in your mind. Some funny story or some very
okay. Here we go. We was on. Okay, here's another tour we was on. It was the Art of Rap. We was in Vegas about 5 years ago. It was me, Curtis Blow, Mobb Deep, Ice-T, KRS-One, Naughty by Nature, and the Sugar Hill Gang.
Okay.
It must have been 105 degrees out there. Right? Right. So I see Ice-T, he pacing back and forth. I said, "What's wrong, money? Yo, you see who's on this show, Chuck?" He said, "Yo, I ain't going on last." Right. So I bust out laughing, right? So then I see, you know, KRS-One's real name is Chris. So Chris is in the corner watching everybody because he's doing counter surveillance. He's watching everybody, what they doing. So when he comes out, he stomps a mud hole in you. Here's a problem, bro.
Really?
Then Chuck D goes, "Damn it, I gotta change the lineup. Chris is on here." I swear to God, Keith. I swear to God. I watched them. You know, they Carol's wasn't nothing to play with. And then Mobb Deep was on there. And that was Mobb Deep's last show before Prodigy passed. I was there at that. So Mobb Deep was ill, and Naughty by Nature, Sugar Hill Gang, Kurt. It was, man, it must have been about probably 8,000-9,000 came to that. And it was 103 degrees. It was hot. Never forget it.
Who is the best rapper you've ever worked with? Name three of the top of all time.
We got 4%. We got 4% left.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, to me, my it's Public Enemy, KRS-One, Ice Cube, LL Cool J, Naughty by Nature's No Joke Live, and Eric B. and Rakim.
All right. Now you know,
and Dougie and Slick Rick.
And Dougie and Slick Rick. Okay, but you left out LL. So
no, I said L. I said L.
You did? Oh,
yes,
okay. All right. Okay. Well, you know, this has been great for me because there's certain aspects of hip hop that either I did not know or I have not remembered because of so much. But you have certainly given me new insight. And I really appreciate that. And we've got about
but you know, but we watched all of you guys. You know what I mean? Yo were our foundation. We watched and learned from you. And man, there was a couple of times on that tour George Clinton popped up. He popped up.
Really?
He popped up in Houston. That was my first time actually talking to him. And then I met Bootsy Collins in LA.
Oh,
yeah. And I'm watching these guys. He still got the big crazy glasses on and the boots and the big hat. And I'm going, yo, you gotta be kidding me, bro. You know what I mean?
Well, hey, look, this has been wonderful. We've got about 2 minutes left. Chuck, chill out. Tell everyone your real name, Charles Turner.
It's Charles Turner.
Yeah, so folks will know that I'm speaking to Charles Turner. How'd you get the name Chillout, real quick? Chuck Chillout.
Well, you know,
we got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes.
You know, back then, man, you know, you had to fight back then. So, yo, Chuck, chill out. That's where that came from. You know, we got a lot of scraps back then. You know what I mean? So it came from that.
All right, Chuck. Well, hey, I love you, brother. And
same here, Godfather.
And I appreciate you so very, very much. And thank
Yeah,
you
man.
for, I know we had a couple of technical difficulties with the
That's all
internet
good.
here. And I hope you get your car fixed real
Yeah,
soon.
we
You're going
fix.
back on,
I'm gonna
you're
go back
going
out
back
there and
underneath.
fix that fuel pump right now. I'm fixing it right now. I'm gonna go up underneath it
Great.
right now.
Well, thank you. So have a great day and a better one tomorrow. And don't judge your brother or sister too harshly until you've walked a mile in his or her shoes. And
Yes, sir,
remember,
Godfather.
life is tough, but you're tougher. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
very much for listening to What's Hot Harlem America with G. Keith Alexander.
Godfather, what's up, Godfather?